I don't know if you guys know this or not, but approximately 750 million body mists have launched this year alone, okay? Yeah, body mists are hot right now, okay? Every brand is releasing a fragrance mist, and as you can see behind me, I have a lot of them. I want to say I have all of them, but technically that's not true. And honestly, as I've been prepping for this video, they just keep coming out. But today I thought I would give you a body mist guide. We're gonna run through. A lot of them are from this year, this summer. I have Boy Smells, I have Heretic, I have, of course, Phlur, Sol de Janeiro, I have some stuff from the new Savant. So lots of different brands in here, and I thought this could be a nice body mist guide if you were out there wondering what houses to look at, what fragrances to look at. I'm hoping that my thoughts and reviews on these products will help get you to the right place. You can pick the right body mist for you. That being said, this video is going to be long. I just can't get away with doing a short video anymore. Every video is a freaking epic with me, but use the timestamps down below to get to where you want to go. Before I get into all the body mists though, I do want to talk a little bit just about body mists, what I think they're best for, kind of what to expect, what my tastes are as well. Because scent is so personal, we like different things. So just because I might not get on with a fragrance doesn't mean you might not. I hope I can tell you what fragrances I think are similar to each other so you can kind of get an idea of what might work for you. My personal favorite way to use body mist is one as an after shower moment. I absolutely love getting out of the shower, feeling nice, clean, and fresh, and putting on a nice, usually cozy vanilla or gourmand body mist. It's honestly one of the best feelings in the world, and because body mists aren't as strong in concentration as regular perfumes, EDP, extracts, even colognes, body mists are on the lowest tier here. So it really works out for me that I'm not overwhelmed by a scent necessarily when I'm going to be going to bed. So nighttime's a great time. I also like layering body mist with other fragrances. So if I want to kind of tweak or change a fragrance, maybe bring out some of the fruitier notes, the woodier notes, the vanilla in a fragrance, I feel like a body mist can be a great way to add a sheer kind of scent, I don't know, veil over whatever fragrance you might do and kind of create a combo. It's great for touching up if you just need a moment, kind of a reset throughout the day. And I almost forgot to say this, but obviously body mist can be great if you don't like a strong scent. If you're sensitive to strong scents, heavy scents, body mist can be perfect for that. And also for hot weather, sometimes you just don't want something too heavy on you. And I feel like body mists work great in the heat. So although body mists don't last as long as regular perfumes, and sometimes that can suck, especially if you love the fragrance, you want it to stick around, the positive is that they are way less expensive than regular perfumes. If you're into fragrance, you know just how high the price can go, and body mist can be a way to get a new scent experience without necessarily having to pay hundreds of dollars. But you don't need everything. Even though I have them all, I'm hoping again that I can help you pick out just the right ones for you so you can get the most out of your fragrance. I'm going to review these by brand, so I will have the timestamps organized that way. And then at the end, I'm also going to do kind of a superlative, kind of give you my top picks in certain categories, as well as my just like top favorites out of everything here. You know, if you like a lot of the stuff that I like, that might be like an easy cheat sheet, you know, to know what's going to work best for you. A little bit about the scents that I love. I'm a gourmand girly and I love vanilla. Okay, vanillas will always win my heart. I just love them. I also really love woody fragrances, unisex fragrances, and as much as I can do fruity and floral stuff, I tend to like them to be a little grounded with something, again, woody, ambery, musky, something else has to be going on. So keep my preferences in mind as I'm talking about these fragrances. And with that, baby, buckle in because we got a lot of body mist to talk about, okay? There's no real rhyme or reason to what brands I'm going to be talking about in what order. So why not start off with the Glossier ones? There are two that have come out. The green one is Sandstone. The pink one is called Orange Blossom Neroli. And these retail for $35 each for 100 ml or 3.4 ounces. Starting off with Orange Blossom and Neroli. Now, this is definitely not a scent that I normally would like, but I have to tell you something about this Neroli. I kind of get it. It almost smells a little bit like hairspray. It is that kind of astringent, almost kind of bitter Neroli, but that makes it super fresh. There's like no sweetness coming off of this, to me at least. There's a little bit of citrus, but really it is leaning heavily on that orange blossom, on that neroli, so you gotta like that kind of scent. But if you're really looking for something that's gonna work well in high heat, I feel like this is a nice option. And with both of these, I also think they pair really great with the other Glossier fragrances. They have 4 perfumes in their line currently, and I loved pairing this one with the Glossier You Phlur. There's something about the creaminess of that cuts nicely with this and makes it a little bit fresher. So that was my favorite combo. though. As for Sandstone, this one's a little bit more on the unisex side. This has notes of fig, sage, and sandalwood in it. And I'm definitely picking up on the sandalwood. There's almost something kind of spicy going on. I'm assuming that's the sage. I don't get a ton of fig. I thought I'd get more like a creamy fig, but if anything, this leans a little bit more green. And unisex, it kind of reminds me of a men's aftershave or like cologne or something like that. Weirdly, out of the two, I like the Orange Blossom and Neroli more. I think it's more versatile and I kind of like the lift it gives. I think Sandstone could be great for layering. I think it pairs best with the You, I think it is the white one, but definitely expect something a little more unisex on this one. Next brand on the list is Snif. There are 4 body mists from the line and I have all 4 of them. 3 of them came out with the Hot Cakes perfume, which is a pancake scent, and they're meant to kind of be toppings. So there's Extra Whip, Hazel Split, and Berry Styles. And then this summer they came out with Spray Tan kind of on its own. These are the smaller size. They retail for $22 and that's for 2.5 ounces. They do have a larger size, which is 8 ounces for $34. My favorite one from the line is Extra Whip. You guys know I love vanilla, so it was kind of a no-brainer. It'd have to be a bad vanilla for me not to like it. This is supposed to be like a whipped cream vanilla, and I do get something almost kind of cold coming off. It's sweet, it's nice. It's a little powdery in the base. This has notes of sugar, aldehydes, whipped cream, vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. And I almost get, especially in the dry down, something a little bit like coconut cream. It's very light. It's a solid vanilla. Definitely my favorite and the one I've enjoyed the most. If you're into vanillas, it's worth checking out. I also do have a code with Snif. It is affiliated, so you can always use that to save 10% off. It's Lauren10. On to the other mist that came out with that like pancake collection though. There's Berry Styles, which is supposed to be like a berry jam or like a berry topping on the pancakes. Now, I do get the berries. There's also some lime in here, and I do pick up on that citrus as well. But the thing about this, and I thought this would maybe go away, but there's something about the way the berry's done that it does smell a little plasticky to me in the base, and I don't know what that is, but it's kind of like I'm smelling a fruity jam next to a pool floaty, so I don't love that about it. I don't know why that happens for me. Full list of notes though: blueberry, raspberry, lime, freesia, and vanilla in the base. Not my personal favorite. Hazel Split was probably the one I was most excited for because it did have a banana note in it, and I just get excited about banana. But this also has cacao, there's hazelnut, there's coconut in here, like very foodie gourmand notes. And honestly, I feel like this gives you what it says. It does smell like cocoa powder or even like liquid chocolate, a little bit of that nutty hazelnut, and even the banana does come through. I feel like it's a little bit lighter, but I don't know, it's just a little too sickly sweet for me. And personally, I find chocolate scents to be a little bit harder to wear every day. So although I think it's unique and I think it could be right for the right person, it's just not my favorite. It doesn't quite work in this scent for me. And last here we have Spray Tan. When I first sprayed this, I thought it smelled almost identical to Cocoa Shimmy, also from Snif. It's kind of their coconut, sunscreen, beachy kind of scent, and I feel like this is the perfect body mist to kind of pair with that. It has some interesting notes though. There's carrot, orchnox, Tahitian vanilla, manoi oil, banana flower, and tiger lily in here. To me, it's kind of like a classic beach fragrance, you know? A little vanilla, some tropical florals. It doesn't say it has coconut in here, but you know, I kind of get a little bit of that coconutty vibe. It kind of hits in the middle for beachy fragrances for me. I don't wear those all the time, but this one's solid. I'm very interested to see where the body mist will go from Snif into the future. Next, let's talk about Phlur, because Phlur has tons of body mist, and I feel like between them and Sol de Janeiro, they really hold down body mist at Sephora and have tons of options. Phlur also does 2 sizes. They have the 3 ounce for $25, and then they have the larger 8.1 ounce bottles for $38. They've released 5 this year, so I'm gonna start off with Vanilla Smoke, which is the first fragrance mist they launched in 2025. I'm a fan of something a little smoky, and I do like this vanilla. I'm glad they named it Vanilla Smoke. It really lets you know, hey, you are gonna get something a little smoky. There's incense in here. It has something rich and deep to it. It's ambery and resinous and a little bit peppery. I really quite like this. If you're a fan of By the Fireplace, I feel like this could be a potential option for you to check out, but it's definitely not an exact dupe. And I also get a lot of Commodity Velvet Plus, especially the plus one of that in here. There's almost this like toasted incense quality about it, and it's quite nice. Definitely for colder weather, but I thought this was a good launch and something a little different. Next, they came out with Peach Skin and Beach Skin, and Peach Skin to me, I was excited for. I didn't know if we'd get something that was more like a peach gummy, but I feel like Peach Skin's a great name for it because it does have this like warm sensuality to it. It's more unisex leaning. I get more of that sandalwood that's in the base of this, and although that's a little bit milky and there is a milk note in here, there's also coconut and caramel. I feel like it's more like a unisex skin scent, so if you don't want something overly sweet or fruity, this might be a good option. option. As for beach skin, this is that like white floral, vanilla, beachy scent. I was hoping we'd get something a little less sweet on this one, but it strikes a nice balance. It's not overly creamy and thick and too floral heavy. It has a nice lift. There's some bergamot in here. There's a little bit of salt, and I like that in a beachy fragrance, just so it doesn't go too creamy and powdery with some of those white florals. This is on the more likable side of a beachy scent for me, even though I'm not super into them. So definitely one to check out if you want a scent like that. Now on to the two most recent. Let's talk about Mrs. Smith first. This is their most recent launch, at least when I'm recording the video. And this is an apple scent. Ooh, baby, and this is strong, okay? If you love a fresh, fruity kind of floral scent, I think you're gonna like this. I think a lot of people are gonna like this. I find this quite strong and just perfumey. I wish it had a little more lift than it does. There's just this overall perfumey quality about this that I find honestly a little generic. It smells like a lot of different body mists. It also kind of smells like Garnier Fructis like shampoo. It has a bit of that fresh watery quality to it, but again, just really perfumey for me. So this one was unfortunately a miss for myself. I will say though, I do feel like this has some decent lasting power on it, and just in general with the Phlur scents, I find them to be on the longer lasting side of fragrance mists. My favorite release from Phlur this year is the Vanilla Nectar scent. I didn't know how I'd like this, but there's something that keeps me going back. This is extremely sweet. At least to my nose, this comes off like fake sugar. This smells like a plastic doll's head that's meant to be scented like a sweet, I don't know, maybe something fruity, but it's not overly fruity juicy. It's more just like sweet as hell. This has notes of sugar, apricot, papaya, tangelo in the top, peach blossom, orchid, coconut, jasmine. I swear Phlur puts coconut in everything. And then in the base, vanilla, amber, and cedar. It kind of has a fluffy quality to it. I don't want to call it creamy necessarily, but to give you an idea of fragrances I think it's similar to, I think if you like Love Don't Be Shy from Kilian, but you don't want any of the florals, any of that kind of like animalic smell that can come off of that, I feel like this is just the sweetness of that fragrance, just that kind of marshmallow. It kind of reminds me of how the marshmallows in Lucky Charms taste, and it also kind of reminds me of Eilish. The original Eilish was also very sweet to me, and I feel like the way the apricot comes off, the sugar in here kind of gives that red berries that's in that fragrance, but this doesn't have the spices or cacao in it. So definitely my top pick for what's come out this year. Although I love the Vanilla Nectar, if you want to know my top pick from Phlur, if you're looking at the rest of the line, I really love Vanilla Skin. I love this in the EDP as well, but it's great in the body mist. I think it launched first in the body mist, if I'm not mistaken. It's an airy, sweet, kind of sugary and slightly peppery vanilla, but it also has some woody qualities, and it doesn't go too realistic like food. And I do have a lot of the Phlur scents and body mist, so let me know if you want a Phlur video specifically. I also did do a short on these, so sorry if it was redundant. Next, let's talk about Sol de Janeiro, another big hitter. Their 3-ounce size retails for $26, and their larger 8-ounce retails for $39. They have their summer collection that's come out. They've relaunched the 39 scent, which used to be called Coco Cabana, something like that. And they've also most recently launched Sundays in Rio, so lots coming out from them. I'm gonna start with the summer collection. I always get excited for these summer Sol de Janeiro collections, but I mean, I don't know if these really stand out for me. Some of them are unique. I'll give it that. Let's talk about Danza Mystica. I think I was most excited for this one because it does have a fig note in it. It has top notes of fig, champagne, there's green Anjou pear in the mid, orris, lily of the valley, and then in the base, sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. I don't know, this comes off like, I guess aromatic, but there's something about this that kind of reminds me of Vicks Vapor Rub, but if it was those notes, so I just wouldn't expect it to go that route, but there's something just a little off about this scent. I feel like if it's your favorite scent, I'm glad it's created for you because it's quite unique, but I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. It kind of comes off a little more like unisex leaning as well to me. When I first got that, I had to scrub it off because I did not like the way it was on my skin, so that one's a fail. As for the other two mists, I think both of these are good. My favorite one is the blue one, Agua Mystica. This is just a nice, juicy, fruity, summery, beachy scent. Instead of going like sunscreen and vanillic and kind of creamy with coconut in that way, this kind of gives more the citrus, marine, and like a juicy fruit kind of scent. This has notes of tangerine, pineapple, and neroli in the top, jasmine, peony in the mid, salt, skin, and white cedar in the base. It's maybe not the most unique, but it's juicy, fruity, perfect for a beach bag, perfect for high heat if you're gonna be by the pool, that type of thing. I think it's solid. Last for the summer collection, this is Flor Mystica, and this one is like a coconut floral. It's a little bit more on the lifted or fresher side than it is on super creamy, but it definitely just fits into that beachy category, which there are many options in that category. category, and I don't know if this necessarily stands out to me, but I could see people liking it. I think it's a likable scent. So overall for the summer collection, I think there are better things out there. My favorite scent out of the bunch is the 39, which brought back Coco Cabana. I think this still might be limited, and I don't think it has the exact same notes as the original, but really I feel like Coco Cabana was so ahead of its time, okay? And I remember the big thing about this scent is everyone thought it smelled like popcorn jelly beans. They weren't getting the coconut. And again, I think they might have reformulated this a bit, because I do remember getting that kind of buttery scent from Coco Cabana. But I think if you're looking for a kind of coconut beachy scent in a way, but wanted to go more gourmand leaning, like this smells edible and kind of sugary and sweet, it's a fun one. You definitely need to like coconut for sure. And again, I don't think it's as buttery as the other one. I don't necessarily get popcorn, maybe just more like an overall nuttiness. Notes on this: coconut, vanilla, orchid, praline, and sandalwood. If you're wanting to get this back, it might be a good time. Again, I think it might be limited coming out. And if you have the original, I'd love to know how they compare, like what changes do you smell in them, if any. And last year, the newest release, Sundays in Rio, I was excited for this because it was like an ambery, peppery vanilla. We know I love vanilla, and you know, I think it is a more grown vanilla. It's not like super sweet, it's not a cupcake, but there's something about this on my skin that turns a little powdery, and I don't love that. Like that kind of initial dry down. In the deepest dry down, it definitely gets a little better for me, but I'm not gonna wait around for that. We don't have much in terms of notes on this. Amber, vanilla, pink pepper, musk. I don't know. To me, it more smells like a lotion you would layer something else on top of. Like, I don't know. I don't love this scent. It is a smoother, I guess, deeper ambery vanilla, but I honestly feel like the way that this is peppery makes it more powdery smelling, and I really didn't love that on my skin. So although there have been a lot of new releases, I honestly just say stick with the main line. I love 68, I love 62, I love 59. I think all of those are better than these. Next here I have Boy Smells, and I was really excited for this launch to see them branch out into body mist, and they came out with 3 new scents, although I think they have a 4th one already. I have the 3.3 ounce size, which retails for $24, but they do have a larger size that retails for $38. And for their 3 scents, they have Cream Dream, Lalicious, and Fruity Lips. Let's talk about Cream Dream, because this is the vanilla and the one I was most excited for. Also, I just have to say, I love the packaging on these. I think that it's really cute and, I don't know, a little bit different, I guess, but I really do like Cream Dream. This is a creamy lactonic vanilla. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Philosophy, fresh cream, warm cashmere, something in there, but not overly sweet. I almost feel like I get more of that milky creaminess than I do just like a sugar rush from this, and I quite like that. So it's more cozy, and if you want like a fresh cream vanilla but you don't want it overly sweet, I think this would be a really good option. It's like sweet and creamy vanilla milk to me. The other 2 from the line are a little bit different. I thought these were going to be really juicy and fruity, especially with names like Lalicious, but I find that the juiciness is a little more reserved, kind of pulled back. The notes on Fragrantica for Lalicious are like peony and lychee, but then on the Boy Smells site, it says lychee, peony, sugared musks at one point, but then it says scent notes, and it says black pepper, frozen mint, ripe musk. Not really sure what's going on, but honestly, I kind of get the musk and the mint and the black pepper, because this comes off more, yeah, musky and fresh in a way that I didn't expect. Like lychee can be tart and it doesn't necessarily have to be sweet, but it also can be juicy, and this just was different than I expected. It's definitely giving something a little bit different. Then there's Fruity Lips. This is probably my 2nd favorite from the line. For notes on Fruity Lips, raspberry, cherry blossom, and cocoa butter, and there's something almost kind of waxy powdery about this scent that I didn't expect, so it comes off a little bit makeup-y and musky in that way. And so as much as, again, there's a little bit of fruit, it's not overtly juicy fruity like you might expect. It weirdly reminded me of Scarlet Poppy from Jo Malone in a way when I first smelled this. Definitely not exact, but more in that realm. I also didn't feel like the lasting power on this one or the Lalicious was that great. The Cream Dream did okay, but these just were softer performing. I'm interested to see what other scents they come out with, but Cream Dream to me is the one I really would suggest. Next, let's talk about Heretic Parfums. They came out with 3 body mists. There's Dirty Grapefruit, Dirty Lemon, and Dirty Mango. These come in one size. They're 100 ml or like 3.4 ounces for $36, and they are in glass bottles, which I just think is a nice touch. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you like glass bottles? I like the glass, but I also can see why plastic makes sense to kind of throw in your bag and not break. Anyway, if you've smelled any of the fragrances from Heretic, they definitely are a house that does some interesting scents, so I feel like like knowing that is probably good going into these fragrances. And I also feel like these body mists are the most transformative out of everything here, or at least are one of the body mists that I feel like has a difference in the opening to the dry down, more like a real fragrance, like a real perfume. And so if you're looking for a scent profile that's unique in terms of body mist, and yeah, that's like off the beaten path, you've tried a million body mists, you're like, they're all not for me, maybe Heretic will give you what you want, something a little more interesting. Now, starting with Dirty Mango, this has notes of bergamot, mandarin, and lemon in the top, mango, black currant, and geranium in the mid, and then ambrette and sandalwood in the base. I do get the citruses and definitely the mango in here, but it's more of like a naturally occurring mango. To me, it smells like ripe, real mango, maybe a little bit more in the nectar, like there's something almost creamy to it. No real milk involved, just the mango itself is kind of creamy in that way, like kind of fleshy, I guess. And although I'm talking about like that flesh of the mango, if you were wanting to try a mango scent that wasn't overly sweet or syrupy or sticky smelling, this might be an option. I will say, as it dries down, I almost get something a little savory, like there's no rice note in here, but I don't know why for me that comes across a little bit. I also sometimes pick up more of a green mango too, so it just changes. I'm telling you, with these ones, the dry down is very different from that initial spray, so keep that in mind. I don't know, the more I smell this, it just smells like a fresh mango, but slightly buttery. I don't know, very interesting. Definitely a more unique mango, I would say. Next we have Dirty Grapefruit, and I feel like this is a perfect name for the scent. It's not that bright pop of citrus that you expect. Instead, I almost get something kind of earthy, a little bit dirty, maybe even peppery. This has notes of pink grapefruit, orange, and lemon in the top, damask rose and geranium in the mid, and then vetiver, black tea, and cedar in the base. I honestly feel like I pick up more on the rose, the geranium, the vetiver, like all those base notes more than I do the citruses. Like those kind of peek through, but they are not like taking over the show. So it really does give it more of like a dirty, earthy, grounded grapefruit kind of smell. I find in the dry down of this and as it wears, it does turn more woody and musky, and I really preferred it the most in that dry down. And last we have Dirty Lemon. This is probably my least favorite just because the lemon in here does come off a little more like cleaner almost to me. Yeah, there's something kind of like stinky sour going on the way that the notes combined in here for the way that I smell the lemon. I have this memory of a natural cleaner I used once that had a lemon note, and oh, it kind of reminds me of that, so bad scent memory. The notes on this are bergamot, lime, cedar, lemon, peel, and pepper in the top, grapefruit and clary sage in the mid, and then palo santo, labdanum, and oak moss in the base. I think the pepperiness with the aromatics coming from the sage, I'm sure those base notes as well, just kind of combine in a way that aren't my favorite personally. Again, I find the dry down gets better with time on this one, but this was my least favorite for sure. I think the other two are definitely interesting, and just in general, I do think Heretic offers something a little bit different here in these body mists, so maybe something to check out if they sound up your alley. Another house I was excited to see drop body mist is by Rosie Jane. They came out with 3: Birthday Suit, Beach Baby, and White Tea. These are 3.9 fluid ounces, and they retail for $32. I think that's the only size they have. Now, Rosie Jane as a house does a lot more of those airy, musky kind of fragrances, whether they go more floral or skin scents. Like, I feel like all the fragrances in the house kind of follow that DNA no matter what kind of category they go into. And they definitely carried that into the body mist, which I was really happy to see because I feel like it keeps the identity of like what they do. That being said, there's 2 in here that just aren't my preference, but I do think other people might like them. And then there's Birthday Suit, which I think is really great. I also think a lot of other people are gonna like this. This is like a skin scent, think Glossier You, another 13, I don't know what. Those musky kind of skin scents, maybe with some molecular notes, some ISO-E super, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I get in here with this like apple blossom, apple tartness and sweetness and a little bit of lift. Very, very nice. Perfect for high heat. One of my favorite body mists I picked up recently. I just think a lot of people are gonna like this, and I don't think we get this scent profile enough in body mist. So definitely suggest Birthday Suit. This has notes of tangerine water, skin musk, and sweet apple. I was kind of hoping Miss Smith would be more in line with this. So if you want that more fresh, musky skin scent apple, this is the one you should go for. As for the other 2, there's White Tea. Whew, and this one is for who it's for, but it is not for me, let me tell you. This is Cotton Blossom, Lily of the Valley, Soft Rose, lots of florals. It's very musky and clean smelling. So if you like a soapy fragrance, if you really like smelling clean and fresh, I think you would like this, especially with those florals. There's not a lot of sweetness going on, and I do think White Tea is a good name name for it. It smells crispy and clean like a white tea. Just definitely not for me, but it falls in line with the house. Like this smells in line with other fragrances I smelled from by Rosie Jane. And then last here is Beach Baby, and this is coconut, salt air, and ylang ylang. Now, as much as this is like their beachy scent, it's very crispy and dry. Think of like, I don't know, like a dry wine, but instead like a dry beach scent. It is not creamy. It's more musky, clean with hints of coconut and salt and ylang ylang, but not really sweetness. I think it'd make a great layering fragrance, great for high heat. It's just not my personal favorite. If you're wanting to get away from those like milky, sunscreeny, beachy scents, this is not gonna give you that. It's definitely more of like a crisp floral, crisp musk, crisp salt, like almost more like hairspray. Think of that. Overall, as much as two of them aren't for me, I think these are great options. The way that these are done are definitely unique in the space, and I think it offers something a little bit more elevated, a little less sweet in the way that body mists can tend to go. Now, if you want a little more sweetness in the by Rosie Jane, but you like the idea of that muskiness, the airiness, I think the Lake and Skye body mist could be a good option for you. They also have a more musky skin scent DNA to their house and to their regular perfumes. And again, I feel like they kind of brought that to the body mist. The Lake and Skye body mist come in one size. They're 3.4 fluid ounces or 100 milliliters for $32. My favorite one out of the bunch is the Strawberry and Air 555. I'm always intrigued by a strawberry note, and I feel like this is one of my favorites that I've smelled. It doesn't go overly juicy, sweet, weird smelling that way, but it's also not overly earthy or like too powdery. Even things like Burberry Her to me just don't give me strawberry in that way, and this feels like a nice middle ground for me. This has notes of strawberry, pink peppercorn, strawberry, nougat, iris, vanilla, dry amber, sandalwood, and musk in the base. When I really get a big cloud of this going, it kind of reminds me of a strawberry gum, so I do get some juicy sweetness from it, but again, it's not over the top, which I really, really love. Next is Cosmic Cocoa, and I thought this was gonna be, I guess, more coconut forward, but to me, to give you like a reference point, this reminds me of the Sol de Janeiro 68, the pink scent. It's a little juicy and fruity, but very airy and musky as well. This has notes of white musk. There's cinnamon essential oil in here. I do not smell that. Coconut milk, salted amber, macaron sugar, Atlas cedar. There's Indonesian patchouli. I don't know. I feel like the notes don't make sense for what I smell because I don't get coconut milk necessarily even from this. Honestly, the best way I can describe it, it's like the Sol de Janeiro 68, like in a very similar vein to that, which I do like that scent, so it's nice. My least favorite, and you guessed why, is the 444 Sunkissed and Manoy, because it's their beachy scent. Like, I just feel like I need one of these and I'm good. I just need one in this profile. This one is a bit different though. I get kind of like that pineapple juice, but there's almost something cooling, not quite minty, I don't want to say that, but there's something hitting my nose in a similar way to that with these kind of tropical floral notes. This is bergamot, strawberry, pineapple, definitely picking up on the pineapple, jasmine, raspberry, solar, and coconut, and then musk, sandalwood, and cedarwood in the base. It's not your classic sunscreen scent, but it is like a beachy pineapple. And then my second favorite, which is a little bit of a different option for me, this is definitely more clean and high heat friendly, and this is 333 sheer fig and salt. It definitely has a saltiness to it. Think something like Wood Sage and Sea Salt, which isn't necessarily my favorite, but something about this when I get it on, I do quite like that it's musky and just like an easy wear, I guess, overall. Like if I don't want to think about what I'm gonna wear, I just want to smell clean, it's gonna be hot. When I reach for this, I've been really happy with it. It has notes of grapefruit blossom, clary sage, juicy bergamot, airy petals, sheer matcha, salted fig, sandalwood, sea moss, and driftwood. If you're into the idea of a salty fragrance, something with some fig, but it doesn't go like creamy, musky skin scent, it goes more clean, crisp skin scent, I would check this one out. And I do have a code with Lake and Skye, it's Lauren15, so if you're gonna buy anything from the site, you can use that to save money. It is affiliated, and obviously with any of my codes, no pressure, but if you use them, thank you, I do appreciate it. Let's cut to a few budget options because I wanted to have all different price points in here. These are the Tree Hut body mist. I have vanilla and cocoa colada, and for the 6 ounce, they retail for about $13. Sometimes you can find them different places, and honestly, when I'm looking this up, I saw some for like $3 on Ulta's site, and I'm like, 6 ounce, like what? Am I seeing this right? But you can definitely shop around, find a deal. These are created after their already existing scrubs, so if you like those scents, I feel like like you'll like these. Now the Tree Hut Vanilla is not one of my favorite vanillas. I find this to be a little bit more on the powdery side of a vanilla. It's kind of creamy and milky, like I get that if I think about it that way, but to me it's not sweet enough. I want it sweeter, I want it creamier, and it more goes powdery to me. This has notes of cozy vanilla, sandalwood, and coconut cream. Again, if you like the vanilla body scrub, it smells like that. Similar with Coco Colada, if you like this scrub, I think you would like this. This to me smells like coconut and pineapple juice, a kind of pina colada scent. Maybe you really love the sense of the scrub and you want to layer with these. I could see that being kind of the best option, but personally I'd rather use the scrubs and then layer with a different body mist. Now if they came out with the cinnamon dulce scent, then I would love that because I really, really love that scent. Even the cotton candy one I think could be better in a body mist. Like I would check that one out, but I don't know, if you're asking me, I say save up and buy a better scent. Personally. For some other more affordable options, I have all the Essence body mist. These are the Juicy Balm body mist. These are 3.38 fluid ounces or 100 ml, and they retail for $6.99 each. So definitely a lower price point on these ones. I do feel like a little bit you get what you pay for on these. So, you know, keep your expectations at a $6.99 price point. That being said, Viva Vanilla is not bad, guys, okay? I love a good vanilla, so I was excited for this one. And like, as much as when you first smell it, sure, you get a little bit of that alcohol, there is a creamy vanilla that kind of comes through, and this vanilla reminds me kind of the Sol de Janeiro purple one, the 59 scent. It's in that vein for sure. You know, if you're on a budget, you want a vanilla, I do think this is a decent vanilla for the price, guys. I do. Notes on this: velvet plum, sugared violet, vanilla orchid, amber, vanilla sandalwood, and fresh vetiver. Now reading the notes, it even more sounds like the Sol de Janeiro one in the notes. So if you like the Sol de Janeiro one and you want a cheaper option, I think this could be one to check out, okay? Unfortunately, I can't say that about the other ones personally. You know, we all have different tastes. Also, the lids are kind of interesting. They have a big lid, but they also have a smaller lid in case you want that. So double lid options. The other one I was kind of hopeful for is Caramel Crush, and I'm realizing right now, I think this is trying to dupe the pistachio caramel scent from Sol de Janeiro. Maybe these are all trying to be duped. Maybe it's just clicking for me, I don't know. Oh yeah, Caramel Crush has notes of pistachio, almond in the top, heliotrope, jasmine, and sea salt in the mid, caramel, vanilla, balsamic, sandalwood in the base. It took me a few sniffs to get that this is a dupe for the Sol de Janeiro, but honestly, this is just a little weak, so I would suggest going with the regular Sol de Janeiro. I know it's more expensive, but there are also a lot of other dupes on the market as well for that scent specifically, so I don't think you need to go with this one. Next, there's Lychee Lagoon, and this to me was a dupe of Baccarat, so again, we'll see what the last one is, because I wasn't necessarily putting that together while I was testing these. It's not an exact dupe of Baccarat, I will say. There's like more spices almost going on in this one to me, but the moment I sprayed it, like I can tell when something's trying to do a Baccarat dupe, and I feel like this is Essence attempt at something like that. Notes really don't make sense for Baccarat specifically. There's lychee, dragon fruit, apricot in the top, pink jasmine, hibiscus, white lily in the mid, musk, sea salt, oak moss, and vanilla in the base. Those notes seem more in line, I feel like, with the pink Sol de Janeiro scent, number 68, I believe, which I feel like I keep referencing, but to me, that is Sol de Janeiro's version of Baccarat, so, you know, it's just Inception with all the Baccarat dupes, but not exact by any means. I'm a huge fan of Baccarat Rouge 540. Absolutely obsessed with it. There are way better dupes on the market if that's what you're going for, and again, I don't suggest it. I really just feel like Viva Vanilla, if you're gonna do it, that's the one to go with. Last year's Zesty Citrus, I really dislike this one. Although it says citrus, I get more like pineapple almost. Oh, there is pineapple in the notes. I'm like, I did not get citrus from this. I was hoping that the notes would give me more of a key into maybe what this is duping, but I have no idea. Orange, mandarin, melon, lemon, and pineapple on this one. I don't know, it's a little fresh, almost a little cologne-y in the way that this is done. Not my favorite. You know, even for the price, I say no. And then with Viva Vanilla, weirdly, I think it's good, obviously for the price, but honestly pretty good because I love that Sol de Janeiro scent and I feel like it does it. It does it at $6.99. Next, let's move on to the body mist from Victoria's Secret. I feel like these and Bath & Body Works are kind of your best bet for cheaper prices. They do different deals all the time, so as much as they have like their regular retail price, you can snag them on a deal and get them under $10 for a lot of the time. So I feel like these might be better options, but I have some caveats with the pink ones because the These sprayers on these just suck. They suck, guys, okay? They're just a little clunky. They're not my favorite, but they have some new gourmand scents. So there's Cinnadrizzle, and this has notes of warm icing, fluffy pastry, cinnamon sugar. If you're on a budget and you want some gourmands, I do think that Victoria's Secret comes out with some decent ones. I get a little bit of that icing, the cinnamon, but this isn't overly sweet. It isn't like an uber gourmand. It's a little bit more on the powdery side. It's nice. Like, you still feel clean after you put this on, you know? Next, we have buttery sugary is what they call it. This is flaky croissant, maple butter, vanilla sugar. There's something about this I do really like. I almost thought this was going after something like Snif Crumb Couture, but honestly, it smells more like the Cirque du Soleil scent. Like, I don't know, it's giving more buttery popcorn than I get flaky croissant personally. It's definitely foodie, but still light and airy, kind of showery like a lot of the Victoria's Secret scents. So I think that one's worth a sniff, see if you like it. Especially if you like that Cirque du Soleil scent. I don't know, there's something similar about those two. And kind of a wild card here, this one is one of the Halloween scents from Pink, and it is the Good Ghoul. Good Ghoul. Be a good ghoul. Ugh, it's hard to say that. Oh, and this one, the sprayer is just... Anyway, the strawberry note on here is what convinced me to get this. Sugared strawberries, pink poppies, candy fairy dust. And honestly, it's sweet, it's airy, it's a little bit fruity. It's not distinct in my mind in any way. And with all of the Victoria's Secret, they do a lot of limited edition or like seasonal scents that may or may not come back. So you kind of have to catch them where you can. But I don't know if this is a needed pickup, you know? And then last with these kind of newer Victoria's Secret ones, I have the pink brown sugar. And the brown sugar one reminds me of fall. It's kind of hard to find notes on this, but it says it smells like your favorite fall pastry, warm, sugary, and right out of the oven. I definitely agree with the fall. There's like those fall spices in here, but also something kind of sweet, the brown sugar. I think it's kind of nice. All of these are on the lighter side though, I would say. Like, you definitely get the alcohol when you spray them. You gotta let them really sit and air out for a bit. Again, if you're on a budget, you don't mind waiting for that, you don't mind the sprayers, these could be good options. But specifically with the Victoria's Secret, I've learned to be very picky about which ones I actually pick up, because there are other things I prefer in terms of scent, in terms of lasting power, and also with the nozzle, okay? Don't make me say it again. I will say though, I do come back and check in on what they have, because this one from Victoria's Secret, this is the Bare Vanilla Daydream, is so good. I'm almost done with it. I love it so much. So this one's such a win for me that I like to just see what's coming out seasonally and see if there's like a unicorn in the mix. That being said, I feel like on the more affordable side of things, the brand that I can suggest the most, that has the most options, is Bath & Body Works. Now, full price, these range between like $16 and $18, but they do a ton of deals on their body mist. They have coupons all the time, and with different sales, they'll go $4.95, $5.95 per body mist, and at that price, you just can't go wrong. They just have so many options. Some of my most recent pickups from Bath & Body Works, I have the Ice Cream Float. This is one of the Halloween scents, and it's supposed to be like a Coca-Cola float. And I really do like this. If you are open to the idea of a soda fragrance, something that smells like Coca-Cola, this does give you that. It's like sweet, syrupy cola, a little bit of those spices coming through. This has notes of fizzing cola, frightful vanilla float, and spooky sugars. I also feel like this type of scent is a little unique, but in a body mist formula, it's more approachable. And sometimes that can be the plus of a body mist. If you like Soda Snob from Snif, this feels like the body mist version of that scent. The other two I have here are vanillas. There's Vanilla Cafe, which is like a coffee vanilla, and then also Vanilla Ease. Now, if you love uber gourmands, that's what I feel like Vanilla Cafe is. It has notes of smooth espresso, whipped vanilla, toasted hazelnut, and this really smells like a syrupy sweet espresso shot. I do get some of that hazelnut, and it reminds me of like walking past the flavored coffee beans. In my grocery store when I was young, you could just like pull the beans down and like fill up and grind there. So it kind of smells like the hazelnut version of those beans. So in some ways, this could smell like you spilled a sweet coffee drink on yourself, but I do find in the dry down that some of that coffee kind of goes away and you're left with just a nice creamy vanilla sweet scent. It's nice. Strong initially though, for sure, okay? You gotta really want a foodie coffee scent. And then last here, Vanilla Ease. This one is lavender blossom, creamy vanilla, and soft cedar wood. It's a super cozy lavender vanilla scent. I would say it's heavier on the lavender than it is the vanilla, so you definitely need to like lavender to wear this. But if you kind of want a spa but cozy vibe, you know, like a lavender sleep pillow, that's kind of what this gives. It's aromatic, a little sweet. It's nice. I like this. But again, Bath & Body Works has so many different options. They're always coming out with things seasonally. They have great gourmand options. I think fall is one of their best times, so definitely a place to check out. And I would say again, if you're looking to save some money, if you want an affordable option, make sure to catch them on a deal. I think this might be one of my last affordable options here. These are from Method. When I saw these on the Ulta site, I was like, okay, let's check them out. They're 8 ounces and they retail for $15 a piece. I'm not sure if you can find deals on these. Again, they're pretty new, but I mean, in terms of value, like the money for these, it is a lot of product for a more affordable price, but I haven't fallen in love with any of these, to be honest. Running through them though, in case you're interested, Vetiver and Amber to me was like their version of Santal 33. Honestly, not a bad Santal 33 dupe, so if you're interested in that scent, it could be something, but I feel like that scent's been duped over and over and over, so you also have a lot of options if that's the scent profile you want. Next, this is Sea Spray and Salt Air. This one just reminds me of like a shower product that's meant to be like marine themed. It's a little salty, a little musky, but overall has that kind of showery quality to it. Again, not bad, but also not necessarily my favorite. I was really hoping I'd love the vanilla scent. This is French Vanille and Coconut, and it's not horrible, but it's pretty light smelling overall. You gotta wait for a lot of alcohol dry down on this one. I would really only go for this if you're looking for a very light vanilla scent. Okay, next, White Flower and Tuberose. Now, if you love these kinds of scents, I think you might like this. It's very white floral heavy. It's more unique. I feel like out of all the body mist I've talked about, nothing really smells like this here, at least. I don't know why it's reminding me of something from Bath & Body Works that was like plumeria or something. I don't know. It's just very, very floral, but those kind of creamy, almost sweet florals. And again, if that's your style, I could see someone really liking this, just not my scent profile at all. Second to last, Jasmine and Sandalwood. I think this is supposed to be their kind of Baccarat dupe, but I don't know what it is. It smells sour. This one is like the most disappointing because, you know, I can get down with a Baccarat dupe, but to me, this just smells like a sour attempt at something somewhat similar to Baccarat. I don't know. Let me know if you've smelled this. Do you get that sour note? Is mine just off? I'm telling you, it's like vinegar or something. It's gross. And last, Dark Cherry and Raspberry. This one might be my favorite one. There's something about it that's like creamy, a little bit tart, floral. It's a little nostalgic. I feel like all of these kind of give me like growing up, being in my bathroom vibes. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's the hair products I was using back then or whatnot, but they kind of each take up a different space and kind of remind me of like old school body mist. So if that's your vibe, if that's what you're into, you like the price point, it could be an option. I just, you know, I'm here. I love the body mist. I'm getting into the intricacies. I love trying the different brands, and this just doesn't rank for me. And these just don't give me experience necessarily. There's not necessarily something complex going on with the scents. They're just a little basic. I'd love to know your thoughts on these though. Do you think they're worth the money or not? I just say go to Bath & Body Works though, because like you could still get a better deal. And again, so many other scent options. I don't know. I just feel like about them. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you're still here. We're probably about halfway through at this point, so get your stamina up. But let's talk about these ones from Lalicious. I was so excited when I saw that they launched some body mist. I love the sugar lavender scent from Lalicious. I really wish they came out with a body mist in that one. I was kind of sad that that one wasn't included. But the two that came out, we have Endless Summer and Sugar Kiss. I know Sugar Kiss is part of the permanent line. I'm not sure if Endless Summer is just a seasonal scent for them. And these are just one size, 3.3 ounces for $28. Now for Endless Summer, I'm not familiar with this scent. I haven't tried it in the body butter, or I think they might even do it in the scrub as well. It's a tropical fruity floral scent. It kind of has that perfumey quality going on, and I'm definitely picking up on like a banana note. It reminds me of a perfumed version of tropical Skittles, okay? That's what I kind of get from this. It does dry down a little more powdery though and a little less sweet. Not my personal fave, but a different take on a tropical scent. The only notes I can get on this are exotic fruits, white jasmine, vanilla musk. So I'm not sure if it actually has that banana, but I'm telling you, it's a little banana to me, a little tropical Skittles, but I definitely get that jasmine too. The florals come through. The real winner for me is Sugar Kiss. I really like this. If you're a fan of Pink Sugar, the fragrance, this is like the body mist version. It's so good. I love it. I'm not even that big of a fan of Pink Sugar, but something about it in this body mist really works for me. It's super sweet, kind of powdery, but in a good way. It smells clean and fresh. It's kind of like a princess scent to me. I really love it. Super, super girly. The notes I can get on this are citrus, rose, and vanilla, but again, I just say pink sugar. It even has a little bit of that like licorice-y kind of smell to me, just barely. I don't know. So good. Really love this. A little unexpected for me as a love, but definitely a winner. I'm telling you, on my fingers crossed, the next body mist is the Sugar Lavender. I want that one so bad. I guess it's finally time for me to talk about these Ellis Brooklyn body mist. These are the Milkshake ones that came out for summer. I've been a big fan of the Ellis Brooklyn body mist since they came out. They are in a glass container, which I really like. This larger but still smaller size used to be $48. These smaller sizes, which again isn't quite 2 ounces, for $35. So these are expensive body mists for sure. I will say I love the glass packaging. I love the mister on them as well. Elite. That out of the way, let's finally talk about these Milkshake fragrances. I was very, very excited for these because I love a gourmand, and the banana milkshake one was the one I was most excited for. Now, I was hoping this would be more banana. It's there, but it's not banana heavy. I would say it's more just a creamy, showery fragrance. I mean, I really like it. It's my favorite one, I think, out of all of them, and I enjoy it. It's a little bit just different than I feel like the marketing. So you kind of have to get that out of your brain, and when you do, I like this scent. Might be my favorite body mist from them. I'm not sure. I do love the new Queen's Caramel though. That one's really good. I do wish there was a little more banana in this one, but I do think it delivers on still that creamy vanilla quality at least, so I'm happy about that. I think Lychee Milkshake might be my next favorite. I do like this one as well, but I don't think the lychee is overtly juicy or tart in here. It peaks out a little bit, but really there's just like a nice, like sugary, slightly creamy base on it. It's not overly milky on this one. I think the banana one is probably the most like vanillic and creamy in a milkshake way. This to me almost goes more like sugary. The notes on this are black currant, lychee, milkshake, pink pepper, raspberry leaf, red freesia, orchid, sugarcane, and brettaloid, and sandalwood in the base. Again, nice. Maybe a little different than what you might expect from the marketing though. And last here is mango. I get the mango. It also has, again, the kind of creamy yet showery. I want to really point out that these have a showery quality to all of them. And it's not necessarily bad, but it does smell like someone's milky hair after it's been conditioned and it's slightly damp. Like that comes through in all of these fragrances. Mango Milkshake has notes of mango, tangelo, lemon in the top, sugarcane, coconut blossom, freesia in the mid, vanilla, tonka bean, and musk in the base. This probably smells the most like someone else's hair to me. And again, it smells good. It smells clean. It smells fresh. It's a little sweet, a little creamy, but it's my least favorite out of the three. And just in general, as much as I do quite like the banana and lychee, I think they were a little different than what I was kind of expecting. And I do think the fruit of these, I don't know, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on these. I say check out the banana and lychee, but also go in open-minded because it's not overly banana or overly lychee necessarily, but they're still good. Next, let's talk about the Noyz body mist. There are 3 different scents. These are 8 fluid ounces and they retail for $42. They don't have any smaller sizes, at least at the moment. And I just have to say with packaging, I do like these. They're in aluminum. They're just like sturdier. They're a little bit different than what else is going on. And just with so many body mists releasing, I appreciate that they kind of have a different perspective going on. Starting with salty, I think this might be my favorite one. This has notes of pink sea salt, coconut water, pineapple squeeze, golden water lily, driftwood, and a marine accord. This reminds me of the Sol de Janeiro, the Agua Mystica, but it's a little bit smoother, creamier, and I don't know, just kind of elevated of the scent. This is more juicy and like in your face. Salty gives a similar-ish vibe, but more rounded, and I kind of like that about it. So I get the marine accord for sure. There's something juicy with the pineapple and coconut water in here. I think this is a nice like beach adjacent summer scent that I've enjoyed. Next, Juicy Chaos. This one's pretty fun. Yeah, it's citrusy, but in a deeper way. It's kind of sugared. If you're looking for like a juicy citrus scent, this might be one to check out. This has notes of blood orange, ginger extract, orange and mandarin in the middle, and crisp amber, moss, and Haitian vetiver in the base. I don't know. I like this one and salty kind of equally. They're not my normal scents I'm wearing all the time, but if I'm gonna go for a fun body mist, I do appreciate the way that these are done. I just want to get that across compared to all these other body mists. There's just something about them I do really quite like. And then last is Listen Honey, and this is a honey scent, which I'm not the biggest fan of honey. It can just come off a little animalic to me sometimes, or like flowery. Like I can smell that this came from a flower and from a bee, and like especially if it's gonna be more like authentic smelling, you know what I mean? And although this definitely isn't stinky honey to me, it doesn't go animalic like that. It also isn't necessarily my favorite either, just because of that honey note. So this has honey, caramel, and ginger in the top, cardamom, jasmine, and muguet in the mid, and then vanilla bean, cacao, and musk in the base. It's a more powdery kind of gourmand, vanillic kind of scent, which again is not necessarily the types of vanillas I go for. I think if you like something like B from Ellis Brooklyn, this could be a good body mist to maybe layer on top of that. But not a personal favorite for me, even if I can appreciate though that it is a little bit different. Again, there's something about these. It felt like there was a different maybe perspective. I don't know, the packaging, like everything about it just felt like, oh, okay. All right, a little different, kind of like that. All right, we're not done yet, but I'm going to take a break. I will come back and we will finish up these body mist reviews. Okay, we are back. Let's continue on with our body mists. Next brand we're diving into is the new Savant. They have 2 body mists, and both of these are newly launched, I believe, this year. These come in one size, 3.4 ounces for $28. I believe Architect's Daughter came out first, and if you know the new Savant, they do candles. So body mists were an exciting new product launch. I think a lot of people are gonna like Architect's Daughter. This is a unisex leaning scent. It has notes of cedarwood shavings, juicy grapefruit, crisp pear, rubber erasers, and salty tears. To me, this smells like a comforting kind of men's cologne in a way. It's woody. It has like a softness to it though. There's something kind of cozy, and I also feel like on the skin it kind of has this lived-in feeling that I really like. I've experienced similar kind of feelings of that with Commodity's Paper, if you're familiar with that scent from Commodity, but I love that this has the eraser note, the paper note, and although I don't feel like those come across completely photorealistic, like I get where it's going in this fragrance, and I think it just helps kind of paint a visual story around this scent. This is another one of those scents that kind of reminds me of, I don't know what, from Dias and Durga, but this is a little bit more maybe cologne or kind of has some other scents going on, but it's in that vein to me at least. So if you're interested in something kind of crisp and fresh, but still cozy, and again, unisex leaning, I think this is a great option. The other scent from them is Future Lovers. This has notes of tangerine, kaffir lime, cucumber, Thai basil, and sparkling seawater. I really get the tangerine, and it also kind of comes across a little just like orange citrus in general to me. It smells like the outer peel and kind of the stems and the leaves. It's more like that orange oil, I guess, which is like vibrant and juicy, but still kind of has a little bit of a bitterness to it. It's not the straight up juice of the citrus, but I really like that it keeps this kind of grounded. I think it's a great summer scent for high heat. I think citrus just plays so well in the heat, and this is a nice refreshing citrus take. It's not super aromatic to me. It also wears kind of close to the body and close to the skin, so if you want something that's not going to overpower, I think this is also great for that. I love seeing what the new Savant comes out with, so I'm excited to see what other body mists we get in the future. The last kind of grouping of body mists that I have here are from Kitsch. I have all 5 of their scents, and in full transparency, I have done a sponsorship with Kitsch, and this warm sugar scent is the reason why I think this is a great vanilla. Getting into a little bit of size though, these are 1.7 fluid ounces, so they are on the smaller side for $20. I do have a code, I think, still that is Lauren25. It'll save you 25% off if you end up wanting any of these. Definitely save as much money as possible, because as you can see, I have quite the dent in warm sugar. This is the type of vanilla that I just can't get enough of. I want it in everything. Now, these aren't just body mists, they also boast them as hair perfumes, and they're meant to completely deodorize your hair. I have had good experience. I do think that these last in the hair. I'm not sure of all the technology of how it does it, but as for scent, I'm telling you, this is like an airy, fresh, warm vanilla sponge sugar. That's what I get from this. It's so good. It's sweet, but not overpowering. It's not powdery. It's just so good. Yes, maybe a little basic, but man, is it so delicious and so good. So I love using this. I like using it after I get out of the shower, especially when I'm in between washes, but obviously love this scent. Okay, warm sugar is my favorite. My next favorite is Amber Shores. This one is kind of their beachy scent. I swear, I was like looking back at the footage and I'm talking about beachy scents so much, and I'm like, I don't know what else to say, guys, okay? When it comes to those vanilla, white floral, coconut fragrances, a lot of them smell very similar to me. And this definitely has like the creamy florals, but it also has like a solar warmth to it that I really appreciate and like. This has notes of wild orchid, sand, kumquat, lemon, black amber, and driftwood in it. So even in the notes, you can kind of see that there's not just florals in here. It has the amber, it has some woods, it has some citrus, some other things to kind of brighten it up and lift it. Next, there's Pistachio Latte. Now, if you love a pistachio scent, I do want to warn you that this is more on the kind of earthy, spicy side of pistachio. As a reference, if you like something like Dias and Durga pistachio, this goes more in that direction than it does in the Sol de Janeiro like salted caramel and pistachio scent. Like I said, there's a little bit of a spiciness to this. I do get a nuttiness, but it's a bit more of a reserved gourmand and kind of goes a little bit more, again, unisex. Like I think it kind of falls in those lines, but I think a lot of people would like this, especially if you don't want a pistachio scent that's too sweet. sweet. To give you a full list of notes, there's melon, bergamot, and orange in the top, pistachio, cherry, and coconut in the mid, coffee, amber, nutty notes, sandalwood, and musk in the base. That's a lot of notes going on in here, and I don't know if I pick up on a lot of them. To me, it kind of falls to the base notes in here. Sheer Violet is one that's growing on me. It's the muskiness in here that I really like. Violet comes off kind of like a watery floral to my nose. It can sometimes be a little powdery as well, but I love that it's paired with the musks. This to me comes across a little more clean and fresh without being soapy or like astringent. There's raspberry and almond in the top, violet and orris in the mid, and then sugar musk and ambroxan in the base. This one might be creeping up into second place. And last year, tart cherry. This is kind of a lost cherry kind of vibe. In the opening, it's very cherry heavy, but there's almost this kind of spiciness, like a cinnamon that comes through. It kind of brings me to holiday vibes, but then as it dries down more, it gets a little waxy. And I find that a lot with cherry notes, at least for myself. I mean, cherry and almond for my nose can definitely go hand in hand. So I don't know if that's kind of some of that waxiness or what's going on, but a lot of cherry scents tend to go waxy for me, and this kind of has that too. It's just soft, and those strong like tart cherry notes at the beginning tend to die away. And this one to me in the base kind of leaves you with something a little fruity, but vanillic, soft, kind of cozy. And if you love cherry fragrances, this could be a good mist to pair with other cherry perfumes you have in your collection. Overall, I feel like these are some solid scents. My biggest thing is I wish they had bigger sizes. This is the only size they have right now, and it would be great to be able to get warm sugar in a bigger size for a better value. So fingers crossed that's coming in the future. Okay, now on to some one-offs. I don't have every fragrance in these lines, but I at least have one, and I can give you some thoughts on that and just overall maybe packaging or whatnot. From Nest, I have the Madagascar Vanilla Fragrance Mist. I really love this scent. I had it in the body oil before this, and I think that the mists are a great launch because the fragrance oils can definitely be expensive, and personally, I'm not using fragrance oil that much. So when these launched and they had the Madagascar Vanilla in it, I was very excited. This is a kind of coconut vanilla scent. They actually do have another coconut scent. This one is more vanilla heavy, but that coconut is definitely there, and it makes this a more tropical smelling vanilla. The notes on this: vanilla bean, vanilla orchid, and coconut. And I love that this has almost a toasted, warm vanilla smell to it. A little sensual, definitely a good one if you're looking for a tropical vanilla. I really love this one, and I just have to shout out, not a body mist, but the new Creme de Clementine from them. I also have really been loving. It's like a very realistic creamsicle scent, so that orange and vanilla. It's very, very yummy, and I kind of hope they have a body mist in it at some point. I realized I forgot to tell you prices, but this comes in one size, 4.2 ounces for $39. Next, this is the first body mist that Brown Girl Jane has come out with. This is called Luau, and this is definitely a beachy fragrance, but this is one of my favorites out of all the ones I've been talking about. There is just something juicy and fruity about this that I think kind of takes front place instead of just florals and powdery and all that I get from a lot of beachy fragrances. It kind of is banana. It's just so good. And then as it dries down, it does kind of get a bit of a powdery dry down, but it reminds me of their Carnival scent, which I believe it's that one that has like a spicy mango and like woody sandalwood base. And I feel like these kind of share a little bit of a DNA, but instead of mango, this is other tropical fruits. It's just really good. Like, I think this is a tropical beachy scent in the best way. So notes on this: passion fruit, banana, guava, orchid, jasmine, plumeria, and sandalwood in the base. You guys know I'm not the biggest fruity floral girl, but I feel like this strikes a nice balance of being juicy and fruity, but having more of a woody base on it. So definitely one to check out. From Day, the hair care brand, they came out with a hair and body mist. This is called Dream Veil, and it's their signature scent that they do in their different products. I've really mostly tried the dry shampoo from them, and it did smell good. So I was excited to try this. It also isn't quite dual phase or biphase, but the oils of this do kind of sit on the top and you have to shake it, but I don't believe that it is alcohol free. Yeah, it's not. So it's not gonna actually come across like oily like some of these other ones. We'll get into it. Anyway, this is 2.7 ounces. It retails for $24. And the notes on this are sparkling citrus, dewy orange blossom, and warm vanilla. And it's a really nice fresh citrus scent. It has a little bit of creaminess, but it's definitely not creamsicle. It's not that much vanilla. It's honestly just refreshing and nice. Like, I feel like this is a really good tropical mimosa drink at brunch or something. Like, it's kind of giving those vibes. And if you're gonna pair this with other other hair products from them. I could see them layering really nicely. Not bad. And I can see a lot more hair brands coming out with body mist because I feel like we're already seeing that. Like, I'm telling you, everyone's gonna have a body mist. I had to try one of the Vacation body mist. I really love the Vacation scent from Vacation. I know, the brand's called Vacation, the scent's called Vacation, but I wanted to try out the perfume mist. One, because the bottle is so different, and that's one of the things I really love about Vacation. They really stick to a theme and go all out, and I just really appreciate when I see brands do that. You know, I like to see that there's like a vision they're executing, not just kind of making a product to do it. There are 3 different scents, all fashioned after their fragrances. They come in 3 ounces and they retail for $24. Anyway, say it with me. This is a beachy, sunscreeny kind of scent, but I do like this one. Like I said, I love the fragrance. It smells like the good sunscreen like the other families had that you're like, oh my God, this is actually like fruity and yummy smelling, not just like sunscreen, you know? This has notes of coconut milk, coconut water, petitgrain, solar notes, banana, pineapple, musk, bergamot. And then in the base, there's plastic, fabric, watery notes, and sea salt. It kind of has a little bit of that plastic. They're going for that retro feel. Now this does smell good, but I do find in the wear, this isn't as sweet. Something about the concentration of this makes those like juicy coconut and pineapple and banana notes kind of fly away a little bit faster. So I actually prefer the regular perfume to this, to be honest. I guess you could top up with this one, but I feel like that Vacation scent actually is more affordable than a lot of perfumes on the market. So if you were going between the two, since they're the same scent, I would just go with the stronger one, honestly. I just like the way that that one wore a little bit better, but I do love the packaging on these. Ooh, okay, we're talking about one of my favorites here. This is Josie Maran's Vanilla Vibes. There are 4 different mists though in the line. These are 100 ml or around 3.3 ounces and they retail for $26. I love this vanilla. This is one of my favorites. It's so good. I was a little bit shocked about that, and I know I've talked about this a bit, so if you're here, you might have heard this, but I did not like the body scrubs or even the lotions that came out in these same scents. I'm telling you, the body scrubs smelled like vinegar to me, okay? I did not get this kind of yummy, milky, sugared, almost kind of burnt and toasted though. Like, it is so good. I love the scent of this vanilla. It's almost a little custardy, which I love. And I'm telling you, if I got this scent from the body scrubs, I would have been so happy. I would have loved that. And now that I've smelled this, I kind of get if other people got this from those initially, yeah, that's why they were talking about it so positively. It's so good. It's just so yummy. And to be honest, these notes, I don't know how this makes sense, okay? Bergamot, juniper berries, violet, vanilla bean, and cedarwood. I really only smell the vanilla bean and cedarwood, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised there's not spun sugar or something even more delectable in here in the notes, but however they concocted it, it's delicious. It's so good. Highly recommend if you're a vanilla lover. I will say though, this is a little different in that it is a milky kind of consistency, which, you know, it doesn't necessarily translate to that much on, but that in combination with the sprayer, which I will say is just a little more bold, you can get a wet spray, okay? So I like using this after the shower where I'm gonna kind of rub the body mist in, or like it's gonna kind of be able to soak into my skin. If you just go straight onto your clothes, like you're gonna wet them, okay? So just beware of that. I also thought I would mention, I don't have a bottle of topless tangerine, but that's also a really great juicy tangerine citrus scent if you were looking. But honestly, all 4 of them I think are worth giving a sniff. From L'Occitane, they came out with their Amande scent. This is an almond heavy scent, and it's similar, if not the same, as their like almond body wash, body oil, shower oil thing. I know a lot of people love that scent, so if you do and you were wanting a body mist, now you can layer, and I think that would be great for you. I mean, yeah, it's that cherry almond to me, kind of powdery. I'm not a big fan of almond in that way personally, but if you are, I think you're gonna like this. And I also think this is super strong, okay? Very, very strong. And so I can imagine if you layer this with the shower oil and the cream, like the body cream and this, you will be set. You will be lathered in this scent. There's bergamot in the top, almond in the heart, and vanilla in the base. So if you know that you're an almond girly, I think you're gonna like this. And this is 3.3 fluid ounces for $40. And I also like that it's in glass. It just feels really luxe. I have the Florence by Mills Love Core Black Cherry. I was on the Ulta site and I was looking at all the body mists. I was like, gotta try that one out too. What if this one's amazing? Now, to be fair, I don't think a black cherry scent would necessarily be my favorite ever, but there's something about this specific black cherry I just am not a fan of at all. Like, it is deeper, but there's something kind of powdery. I don't know. It's kind of perfumey overall too. So this one is not a win for me. And this has notes of black cherry, linden blossom, and oud in the base. So oud is like a different note to have in a body mist. I appreciate that about it, trying trying to do something different, but definitely didn't work for me. But I think this is their only body mist, so I'm hoping that they'll come out with some other scents. As we know, scent is very personal. And for a little bit on price, this is 5 ounces for $18. But I know that the Florence by Mills stuff does go on discount sometimes, so you can definitely catch this on a deal. Okay guys, I went back to Kopari. If you watched my wrap up of last year's fragrance best and worst, then you know I was not a fan of the Kopari initial scents that came out. They came out with 4 different ones and I was so excited, and all of them were just, again, that perfumey, just different style. But you know what? I was like, let's give Pink Guava a chance, okay? Maybe this will be good. And I have to say, this is by far my favorite. Definitely an improvement. It still has a little bit of that perfumey quality, like, okay, yeah, it's still a Kopari scent, but I feel like the juiciness, that tropical fruit that's coming through here really helps to offset it and kind of gives it this like sexy tropical fruit vibe. For size, this is 4 ounces and it comes out to $29. They do have minis, but you have to buy them, I believe, in a set. So I don't think this one came in a mini by itself. For a full list of notes on this, there's mango, mandarin, guava, and then vanilla and sandalwood in the base. I don't know, I think it's pretty good. I will say I was happily surprised. It's a fun, juicy, fruity fragrance for summer. And again, I feel like with that perfumey quality, it kind of works in its favor for this. And it's gonna give you some lasting power on this fragrance as well. So I'm really glad I tested this one out. It makes me, you know, back on like checking them out and what they come out with next. I think next I'm gonna get into these alcohol-free fragrances because in general, I know this is a category of body mist that I think people will like, but you have to be that person. And from trying all these, to be honest, I don't think that's me, because a lot of the times they just are pretty greasy. So, you know, you have to be kind of aware of where you're spraying them. They'll get greasy on your floor if you're spraying them in your house, which I don't appreciate personally. And yeah, they just feel like kind of more hassle than what it's worth. I just don't mind a regular body mist. So that's kind of my thoughts just overall in this category, but let's get into the different fragrances. I'm gonna start with the Maison Louis Marie ones. These are new. There's Fruit de Dragon, Fleur de Vanille, and Fleur de la Passion, or Passion. They're 100 ml, 3.4 fluid ounces, and they retail for $28. Like I said, these are water-based instead of alcohol-based. And overall with these, you just have to prefer a lighter scent. I just don't feel like I'm getting that much from these as body mist. So if you're someone who's really sensitive to scent, but still want to participate in body mist, these might be ones for you. They're just a lot more subtle, I feel like, on the skin. Starting off with Fleur de Vanille. Not a bad vanilla necessarily. It definitely has a little bit more of those florals going on. It honestly reminds me of a very watered down Kayali vanilla candy rock sugar, which if you've ever smelled that one's very strong. So, you know, that watered down definitely could still be something. And I get if that might be something that's more your preference, but again, it's pretty light overall. You also really need to shake these because the oil is going to separate from the water, so you want to make sure that's happening. Again, be careful where you're spraying these. Like, it's just not worth it to me. It's not worth it. Okay, Fleur de la Passion is like a floral, a little green, I would say, a little like watery. It's very fresh, but honestly, it's just so light. It also kind of reminds me of like a lipstick or something too. I just wish I was getting a little bit more of a potent scent from these. And last, Fruit du Dragon. That is very hard for me to say, oh my God. And this is a nice light fruity scent. It smells very natural, so it's not gonna give you something artificially juicy or artificially sweet. It's subtle. Again, that's like a running theme with these. In my notes, I put that this is kind of like an all-natural popsicle with raisins in it. So I don't know. That's the vibes I'm getting. I do get a little bit of that popsicle though. I don't know. It's like a dream of a popsicle though, because it is kind of far away and again, very light. So I'm not saying there's not an audience for these, but just know who you are. They're very light, natural. If that's your vibe, these might do it for you. I did want to talk about the Rare Beauty perfume mist, although these aren't new this year. They are water-based as well. So same thing, you really want to shake these up. You can hear the ball to make sure that's happening. I believe Find Comfort is the one that came out first, and this one really, again, it's gonna get oil all over your floor, so be careful, be careful. These do come in 2 different sizes. The large one is 100 ml or 3.38 fluid ounces for $28, or 1.7 fluid ounces for $16. Now, the original Find Comfort one is not my favorite, and I honestly feel like it's going bad even a little bit. Like, I feel like it's already turning, which I don't feel like it's been that long since this came out, but I did want to mention that this is like a citrus kind of vetiver scent, which I do think is a little bit different, and it was kind of, I felt like, unexpected. It's of lemon zest, pomelo, rhubarb, black tea, jasmine, and violet in the mid, and then cashmere wood, vetiver, and tonka in the base. I used to like more scents like this, but something about the vetiver to me can come across a little strong and just kind of harsh on my skin in a way that I don't love. So not my personal favorite scent or kind of formulation, so this one was a miss for me. The second body mist that came out out. I actually like a lot more. This one is Find Comfort, Awaken Confidence. Same kind of situation here. I'm trying to show you, but I'm telling you, I have like towels down. And I like this peach. It kind of reminds me actually of Peach Skin from Phlur. So there's something a little more grounded about this one, but I do find this a little bit sweeter and like peach blossom. Like there's some florals going on. It smells clean, but just a nice everyday peach scent. I think a lot of people would really like this one. So if you were really looking into the bi-phase water-based ones, this is one of the scents I do quite like. The last body mist I have in this kind of bi-phase water-based category are from Beekman 1802, and these ones are kind of pricey. These are the small sizes, and they're 2 fluid ounces. They retail for $29 for this size, and then the larger size is $49. And you can see the oil layered on top here. I like that they're different colors. It's kind of nice, and there's 4 different scents. So we have honey and orange blossom milkshake, there's coconut cream milkshake, lavender milkshake, and pistachio and dark cherry milkshake. Now they call them milkshakes because these are meant to be moisture mist for your body, so they're kind of making it not only a body mist for scent, but kind of this hybrid of skincare. So I'm assuming that's also part of the pricing for this. Now, like I said, I don't really love the bi-phase, but if that's your thing and you're gonna use it for moisture, you know, it could be kind of cool. I just think you need to fit that into your routine, like as you're getting ready and when you don't have clothes on, okay? Put this on your skin, do not put this on your clothes. That being said, the scents on these kind of surprised me. I actually liked them more than I thought, but they are on the more subtle side as well. So if you just want like a punch of scent and flavor, like these aren't gonna give you that. They're a little bit more low-key and subtle. So I feel like, I don't know, as much as I don't normally love these kinds, I do think there's a place for them. But again, let me get into the scents. Oh my gosh. Starting with honey and orange blossom, again, very light. There's something about this to me. In my notes, I put orange jelly in a syringe. I don't know, it does kind of give like orange jello even vibes. Like there's something about it that's giving me orange jello, but so subdued, okay? I'm talking like a LaCroix of orange jello, okay? Not necessarily bad, but unique. For lavender, I do like this lavender. It's very much that medicinal, aromatic, but soft and dreamy lavender. Like it smells like you're trying to put yourself to sleep in a self-care way. Like I really quite like this. Coconut cream surprised me, you guys. I, you know, had in my head what I think I'm gonna smell, but what I'm actually smelling is so spicy. It smells like Christmas spices to me. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, I do not get coconut at all from this, like at all. It's almost like nutmeg or one of those spices is kind of grated over a vanilla body lotion, but again, the vanilla is not very sweet, not super prominent. I don't know, not bad. And I could see this again pairing nicely over a really nice decadent vanilla body butter, and then putting this on and just getting all that moisture. Not a bad idea. Definitely not coconut cream on this one. And then unfortunately last year for the pistachio and dark cherry, when I tried opening this, I busted the top off. So I can't really spray this one out, but this one smells really good. Kind of like a pistachio biscuit, and I mean biscuit in like the British way of a cookie, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty good, smells nice, but although it's a gourmand, it's more like subdued, again, like all of them. So I don't know, I think these are for who they're for, especially again for the price. You gotta know who you are, but I think they could be a part of a decadent routine. It's just very specific. I promise I want to finish this video up, but I thought, you know, I might as well, doing this big old body mist video, tell you about some other body mists that have come out, not necessarily this year, but definitely in this kind of wave of body mist coming out, and just give you a few thoughts. I have a whole video dedicated to the Touchland body mist, so definitely check it out. I reviewed all of them in there, but these personally aren't my favorite. I do think that they're nice and convenient for travel, for a gym bag, that type of thing, but overall in terms of scent, I didn't think there was anything that special. These have 2 fluid ounces in them, and they retail for $20. I do like the delivery method. Again, I think that's like the best thing it has going for them for travel. But if you were interested, the 2 that I like the most are Sparkling Bergamot. This is actually quite a nice bergamot scent. I think this also has neroli in it though, because it does have that bitter quality to it, but again, makes it great for high heat. Okay, full list of notes on this: bergamot, eucalyptus, grapefruit, vetiver root, hinoki, and amber. So I guess there isn't any neroli, but to my nose, I definitely get like a little bit of that neroli. And then they do have a vanilla. This is vanilla velvet, and although it's not my favorite vanilla, I do think that it's nice, and I think a lot of people would like it. Notes on this: vanilla, coconut in the top, top, whipped cream, lily of the valley in the mid, and then sandalwood and almond in the base. So as much as it has a little bit of those creamy elements, it also kind of comes off a little bit powdery as well to me. I do pick up on the coconut, but this doesn't come across as sunscreeny in any way. Again, if you're wanting more thoughts, I would check out that Touchland video. Since I touched on the Bergamot and Hinoki scent from Salt & Stone, I guess it makes sense to talk about the body mist next. So these are 3.4 fluid ounces. They retail for $45, but they are in a glass bottle. And again, I just like that touch. These feel so nice. I love that they kind of fit in with the rest of my perfume collection and kind of act as almost like a cologne or like a lighter version of a perfume I might want to wear. Now, I don't have the newest one that's come out, which is Neroli and Basil, I believe. I do think it smells nice. It's just not my personal preference, so I haven't picked that one up. But of the three that I do have from the line, Bergamot and Hinoki is my favorite. You can see the dent here. I really love this. It's like musky and just an easy wear when I just don't want to fuss, but I want to feel put together. I think this one's great. Yes, it's similar to the Touchland, but I do feel like this is just a little more refined. Again, more musky. It just feels clean, fresh, lifted. If it's hot outside, this one's perfect. Full list of notes: bergamot and grapefruit in the top, Hinoki and vetiver in the mid, eucalyptus, orange blossom, and amber in the base. Like literally the same notes as the Touchland. Even though it's more expensive though, I do prefer this one. It's so great. Next here, Black Rose and Oud. Not normally my scent profile, but there's something about this that's nice. I don't know, that like cool girl, mysterious girl is who I picture wearing this. Someone with a leather jacket for sure. It's a nice mix of something floral and kind of girly, but again, it has like an oud and like a little bit of something different, so it doesn't come off only rosy and floral. So notes on this: black rose, lily of the valley, mahogany and oud in the mid, and then amber and vetiver in the base. I feel like this is definitely a unique body mist scent, so might be one to check out. I do feel like overall with the Salt & Stone scents, they are a more elevated scent profile in general for body mists. And the last one that I have here, this is Santal and Vetiver, and to me this is just like a Santal 33 dupe from Le Labo. If you love that scent, which I do, I think that smells great, and you want a body mist version of it, this would be perfect. Maybe that scent's too strong for you. I'm telling you, to me, I can't think of anything else. It's just Le Labo's Santal 33 in a body mist. For notes, there's Australian sandalwood and amber in the top, orris and cedar in the mid, and then vetiver and violet leaves in the base. I think the only other body mist that they have is the saffron and cedar scent. I actually wouldn't mind having that, but to me, that one is also kind of a dupe, and it very much gives Baccarat vibes. I have it in the body wash. I really love it in the body wash. That one might be one to check out if you're looking for kind of a Baccarat-esque scent in a body mist. Overall, I feel like it's pretty clear. I really like these body mists from Salt & Stone. From LoveShackFancy, I think they have 4 mists now, but I have 3 of them. These smaller sizes that I have are 3 ounces and they retail for $26, but they do have a larger size, 8 ounces, for $42. And if you really like one of these scents, that might be the way to go. Just thinking about value there. Now, my number 1 favorite, and I really do like this scent, is Sugar Blush. This just smells pink, girly, like powdered sugar almost, cotton candy. It's just so good. I love it. I really don't get the notes on this one. It's passion fruit in the top, rose and violet in the mid, and then vanilla sugar and sandalwood. If you want something that's sweet and girly, that's not fruity really, and also not too floral, I think this is a great one. And honestly, this smells to me exactly like Boardwalk Delight from Skylar. So if you're a fan of that scent, I think you're really gonna love this one. I realized I think there actually are only 3 of these body mists, but for the other 2, this is Velvet Sun. It's a beachy scent, y'all. It's a beachy scent, okay? So you know it's just not my favorite. It's not the worst. Again, it kind of fits in the middle here, but I mean, how many do I need? I know people probably feel that way about vanilla, but I love vanilla, so, you know, I like those. But this is just their version of a beachy scent, so, you know, if that's your thing, maybe check it out. And then last here is Berry Kiss. And, you know, it's sweet. I get the berries, but I just don't like it. There's something in this. Again, I just felt like the other 2 were forgettable. Sugar Blush is definitely where it's at for me, but for a full list of notes: wild berry, starfruit, blueberry, pomelo, plum, marshmallow and freesia in the mid, and then amber and cashmere musk in the base. I do get a little bit of that marshmallow in here. It's definitely sweet and has that like sugariness in here, but I don't know, the way that the berries and those fruits mix in the top, there's just something a little off, and I don't want to say stinky, but again, just off for me. Speaking of Skylar, I do have some of their body mists, and I'm missing Boardwalk Delight because I already went through that one. These are 2.7 fluid ounces. They retail for $30, and all of these are mists based off of perfumes they already have. So I have Peach Fields here, there's Vanilla Sky, Coconut Cove, and then I think the only other one is that Boardwalk Delight. Now, I would say overall, I do suggest just getting the perfumes if you like these scents, because they're going to be a little bit stronger, and just in general with Skylar scents, they don't last a super super long time, so might as well get as much lasting power as you can from them. But I will say I did really enjoy the body mist in Boardwalk Delight, so I actually could see myself buying that one again. Something about it in the mist was really nice at night, and the mist is just really fine, and you know, for my kind of bedtime routine that I do, it really worked out. But I love Peach Fields as a scent, so as a body mist it's nice. It's another one of those more clean peach scents that has a lot of florals in it, and it's just fresh and kind of light. Vanilla Skye I used to like a lot more than I do. This is a cappuccino vanilla, and I do pick up on the coffee that's in here. It's a little bit more of a syrupy, sugary vanilla than it is like creamy or milky, and it is on the warmer side of a vanilla. And then Coconut Cove is a nice coconut. It's more like coconut water though, so there's almost like a tangy aspect to this instead of something milky and creamy. It also has some citrus, there's ambroxan in the base, so it's just more lifted and a fresh kind of coconut. That being said, don't make me say it again, Boardwalk Delight's the one that I suggest. Oh man, I should have put this in the water-based ones, but I didn't. This is from Henry Rose though, and this is probably the only water-based one that I actually like. I love the packaging on this, okay? I think it is just so nice, and it just feels nice and elevated. These are on the more expensive side, but you get more products. So they're $55 for 6.7 fluid ounces. I only have one blonde berry, and it's a fruity, woody fragrance. It's pretty unique to my collection. I do like it, but it's not something that I reach for all the time. Nectarine, black currant blossom, and blood orange in the top, blackberry and cosmo fruit in the mid, and then musk, Virginia cedar, and patchouli in the base. I can pick up on a bit of that patchouli, but I don't think it's like screechy in here, so even if you hate patchouli, I don't think it would be a complete turn off for you. I do think it falls in line with the other water-based fragrances in that it isn't super prominent. It's a little bit more subdued on the skin and feels overall, I guess, a little bit more natural. So again, if that's your vibe, I actually feel like this is going to be one of your better options for a nice scent and also a nice experience if you're looking for something water-based specifically. Okay, from Kayali, I only have one of their body mists. These are actually different because they're aerosol, so they have that continuous mist, almost like a deodorant. I went with the scent Yum Pistachio Gelato, and it does smell like that. I will say, like, I do like this scent. I definitely had a love affair when it came out, although technically initially I was like, what the hell is this? Because it really is a powdery, almost soapy kind of gourmand. It's very different, and I don't know if it's just the way that this comes out initially, but it does remind me of kind of baby powder, like a sweet, yummy pistachio ice cream, cotton candy baby powder that you're putting on your body or something. But I do find with it, it kind of warms up on the skin after you've had it on a bit. So, I mean, I already knew I loved the scent. I do think the aerosol is something a little bit different, but I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if it enhances the experience for me or not, if I prefer it or don't. So it's just novel, I guess, or different for me. Definitely not bad, and I totally get these body mists that come out that are the same scents as perfumes already if you want to layer, but at the same time, I think it can also be nice to have body mists in different scents that might then layer with the perfumes you already have instead of just having a lower concentration of something. I don't know. I can see both sides, so let me know your thoughts on that. And last, I just have to mention the Way body spray. This is the St. Bart's. You guys know I love this scent, and I was beyond happy that this came out in a body mist because I loved it in the body scrub, so it was really nice to be able to kind of do a full body care routine and finish it off with the body mist. This is definitely a BG fragrance, but this one to me is like just top tier. It's more juicy and fruity. It has more of those marine notes to it, and I don't know, it's just a nice balance of the florals and the fruits. It's a lot of florals, but somehow this just comes across so luxe to me. I just really love this one. Wanted to shout it out and include it in this huge body mist video, and that kind of brings me to this last portion. I know we've really been here a long time, so I hope you've enjoyed the video so far, but I did want to just kind of do some superlatives, and I fashioned these questions to make sure you guys knew which ones were my top picks. So hopefully it can help give you a bit of a cheat sheet into what I would pick up again just for personal use, what I'm actually going to be reaching for in my collection in the kind of sea of all these body mists. All right, let's just start with the best beachy slash sunscreen scent. And you know, I had to give it to the Way since we were just talking about it. You know, I might as well just put it in here. Now, if I'm gonna pick something that actually came out this year though, something that is newer on the market out of all these fragrances, it's kind of a tie between the Brown Girl Jane Luau and also Beach Skin from Phlur. If you're looking for something more tropical and fruity beachy, I would go with the Luau. And if you want something that's more kind of that sunscreen, coconut, beachy vibe, I would go with the beach skin because it doesn't go too creamy and too floral. For the best body mist for high heat, I had to give it to Salt and Stone, Bergamot, and Hinoki. This is just gonna cut through all the heat and make you still feel so fresh even if you're sweaty. Okay, it's so good. I absolutely love this one. This one was hard, but I did want to pick out a best vanilla, so I have a tie. I know. My top two vanillas in here are the Kitsch Warm Sugar and the Josie Maran Vanilla Vibes. You can tell by the dents, okay? They are different vanillas for sure, but I really love both of them, and when I finish them, I will definitely repurchase them. But honestly, the other straight up vanillas that I talked about in here, like the Boy Smells one and the Snif Extra Whip, I do think those are solid vanillas, and if you're a big vanilla lover, I definitely think they're worth checking out. I feel like I'm taking this like so seriously, like let me tell you my favorites. For my best fruity scent, I decided to go with Lake and Skye 555 Strawberry and Air. This is just one of the fruity scents I actually find myself grabbing and reaching for, and like I mentioned, a straight up fruity scent isn't something I'm gonna go for as often, but this is my favorite out of the bunch. Best on a budget, my favorite scent here that also costs the least amount of money is the Essence Viva Vanilla. I think this one's pretty solid, okay? $6.99 for a nice vanilla. I'm telling you, if you are a fan of the Sol de Janeiro 59, this to me is the $7 dupe, but like I mentioned, I do think Bath & Body Works overall kind of has the best fragrances for the price, especially when they're on sale. They just have so many options. So I would definitely check them out for overall great prices, but Viva Vanilla won. Now for splurge worthy, I kind of went back and forth on this, but I decided to go with the Noyz ones. I just think packaging wise, they're so nice. And there was just something about these scents that I was just surprised I liked as much as I did. Even the Listen Honey, which wasn't my personal favorite, I could see a lot of people liking. So these win for my splurge category. For best atomizer or sprayer, I have to give it to Ellis Brooklyn. I just think these are nice. Like, that is so nice. That mist is just such a great experience, and although these are expensive, I think these are also a good potential winner if you can find a scent you like for a splurge-worthy body mist. Next I have, which brand do I want to see more of? Like, what brand am I most excited to see what's coming next? And although technically, like, I'm kind of excited for all of it, I love testing what's new, I love seeing what's coming out and staying up to date with that. But I can't lie, the Salt and Stone ones I just really enjoy, and they don't have a vanilla in the line, so I'm hoping that they do a vanilla at some point. I'm not sure based off these scents if it will be as creamy and delectable and sweet as I want, but I'm definitely excited for what's next on the horizon for them. For a random favorite pick, I went with Lalicious Sugar Kiss. I just really love this. It's so girly, so sweet and sugary. If you're into pink sugar and want it in a body mist, maybe slightly elevated, I would check this one out. For longest lasting, I decided to go with Vanilla Nectar. This one to me really has some lasting power. Whether I do a lot and it just lasts a long time or only a few sprays, I feel like, you know, they really count those few sprays. The next category is what I think is gonna go viral next or should go viral next, and for that I picked Birthday Suit from By Rosie Jane. I just can see a lot of people really liking this scent. It's honestly another one that's great for high heat. I think the apple's done really well in here, and again, it's combined with this kind of skin scent that it's musky and fresh and just clean and good. I really like this, and again, I could see a lot of other people liking it. And last, for a fragrance that's not my type at all, but for some reason I keep going back to it, there's something about it, I have to give it to Glossier Orange Blossom Neroli. I really should not like this fragrance. I really shouldn't, but it's just so clean, fresh, and bitter, and I just am like, there is a time and place for this, and for anyone who does like these scents normally, I think you would like this one as well. And that concludes my body mist video. Oh my gosh, truly body mist overload, am I right? Like, it's unhinged. But more than anything, I really hope that this could serve as a guide or help you navigate this body mist world, what's gonna work for you. I'd love to know down below what body mists you love. If I didn't mention them here, definitely let me know what I should check out. And other than that, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.